Hey, double hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with another episode of Your Healthy Living, having fun, taking it easy, being zen.
Yes, and bringing out positive things that are happening in our local and global community. And
in Facebook Universe.
And in
we
Facebook
decided to
Universe.
change it to Facebook Universe, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Shasta, of course, is a very well-qualified acupuncturist with a practice here in San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
And
Way
we
of
love that.
Wellness.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you like to feel better while getting
Naturally.
stuck with the needles, then you go see her. But it's a great experience. Believe you me, even my mother's an MD, a doctor. She's a shrink, actually. She loves acupuncture.
Yeah,
she
well,
says it's great.
It's been around 5,000 years. It
Yes,
works.
Yes,
I'm a
it
fan.
It has a history.
It works. Over 1 billion people use it around the world.
That's
so.
right. So
Yeah, it's wonderful. And we have a guest today who is one of the branches of Chinese medicine, which is the martial arts. In Chinese medicine, as well as Ayurvedic medicine, they've always had many branches to being healthy and fit and well. As a matter of fact, they believe acupuncture was invented by martial artists.
that could
Why?
make sense.
Because they needed to have points. They knew points that could injure in war, and they needed to know the points to heal. And they were very, very healthy, very in tune with their energy, and they knew what meridians or dermatomes, blood vessels, whatever you want to call them, meridians is what we call them, could help heal certain ailments.
And make people live a long time.
And
'cause
have longevity.
You always see the old Chinese guys. It's like, how old is he? 160 years old.
And they
right?
still have black hair, and they can
Yes.
still do Tai Chi in the park.
Wasn't the Karate Kids coach, wasn't he pretty old?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he was.
So that's what Wendy
My
and her
last
husband
name's
are up to.
Lee. Does that count? Am I Chinese?
Oh.
Lee?
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry, it doesn't. But Robin and her husband Charles are providing this type of service through their school, fitness through form and function. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you.
Yeah. Want to tell us a little bit about how long you've been practicing? You told us earlier you're a 4th degree black belt in Kung Fu.
Yep.
And you and Charles met in school together.
We did. We met in school, and I was his teacher. Not that that's it's not one of those taboo situations.
I like that.
I've been practicing for about 20 years, and he's been practicing for all but 6 years of his life, and he's 50-something, so a long time. So even though I technically outrank him, he has a broader experience in martial arts. So we are yin and yang for each other, and so it was kind of this perfect motto for our school is to have those two energies. He's very, he has a lot of skill in applications and fighting experiences. He's done tournaments and stuff like that, and I have a lot of experience in chilling out, finding the calmer version and doing Tai Chi and bringing yoga to the picture. And so we really complement each other for the school, bringing all that in. So yeah, we met in martial arts, and we both are natural helpers of people, of teaching, and we got to a point at our old school where we wanted to move in a direction that was not the same as what they were doing, and so that's how we started our own school together.
So,
Right.
so you were just at the same school.
Yeah.
You were the teacher.
I was there first, and I was there, and I think I was a 2nd degree black belt when he joined. So he was. And when you start in a new school, you start as a white belt. It doesn't matter if you have training in another system.
Oh,
because
really? I
you
didn't
always,
know that.
Yeah, because each system is a little different. You make no assumptions when you enter a different school, a different system. So you start as a white belt. And if you do walk into a school and make assumptions, then maybe you ought not to be there.
So I got to get rid of my green belt if I got to go to your class because I got to be a white belt again.
Yeah, and it's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break talking about Zen martial arts.
At Way of Wellness, we help to rebalance the hormones of your body so that it can heal itself. Way of Wellness offers acupuncture, Chinese medicine, functional nutrition, Qi yoga, and wellness coaching. Call 408-615-1995 and start living the life that keeps us well.
Hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
I say that all the time, and I never said San Francisco Bay before.
You never
I've been practicing. Anyway, we're talking Zen, martial arts, having fun.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. I did take some classes in martial arts. I was, what was it? It was Kung Pao. No, wait, that's the
Kung Fu?
panda. Kung Pao panda.
Kung Pao chicken.
That's food. That's Chinese.
That's food. Shotokan. It was Shotokan,
Yeah.
right? It's more of a boxing style, and it's pretty aggressive. And but I thought it was one of the best things that I ever did. Gymnastics was a good thing for me too, because that takes a lot of kind of the mental understanding of self.
Right. And what Robin was talking about is that they really want to help people become more self-aware. They learn self-defense there, but they share a little bit more about what you mean by that.
People do martial arts for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's for fitness. Sometimes they've dealt with people who made them feel vulnerable, and so they want to feel stronger. They want to feel like they can protect themselves. I've been really fortunate that I haven't ever had to do that, but I started martial arts so I could feel like I could move in a wide range of ways and understand body mechanics. And so a lot of what we bring to the table teaching martial arts is that self-awareness, that if you're busy, in front of your computer all the time or doing a lot of activities that are very cerebral, we all need something physical to balance that out.
Right.
And there are lots of choices for that. Martial arts gives you the physical activity, but also it gives you something to think about so that you're understanding body mechanics as you do these things. You're understanding how your body's working. You get to know how your body moves in different scenarios. And it's really important to have that connection back to yourself, to something really basic like movement, right? Movement shouldn't be an intellectual thing. We're born with it, right? We in the martial arts, especially in Chinese martial arts, there's a lot of reference to animal styles, and animals are a huge source of inspiration for movement. And they don't think about it. They just do it. It's just a natural part of how they are as beings, and it's a huge source of inspiration for us to know how to remember how to move as human beings, as creatures, and not always be doing things external to ourselves on devices, and making that connection to our bodies. And so that's a lot of what we try to do with our students is reconnect to the body, understand how you move and how you move individually, because not everybody's the same, and it's important to us.
Yeah, some
It's
people
important
are
us to
a lot
tailor.
less flexible than others.
Yeah. And I know that when I was in high school, there was an accident, and a friend of mine got in a car accident. He was paralyzed from the neck down, and we all went over to his house and did repatterning, where we would move his legs and feet in certain ways that would have mimicked crawling, and to repattern his brain, to connect his nervous system. And I just think it really, there is so much to having movement and disciplined movement, and movement that's known to help move the meridians and the blood flow and what we call qi. Yes. Qi is bioelectrical energy in the body. And basically, when we're more oxygenated, our brain works better, our organs work better, we will live longer, our hair stays darker longer, our skin's better. Basically, that's what the martial arts do. They oxygenate, they calm the body, and they do it through very specific movements that actually stretch the meridians or the nerves and the blood vessels in such a way that creates internal balance and harmony.
One of the things you said, we're using devices and stuff, and so my guess is it's a gym basically where you do martial arts, and you don't use a lot of
we
weights
almost never
or
call it a
anything,
gym
right?
because it doesn't feel like a gym at all when you walk in. Very high ceilings and lots of natural light, and we feel like it has a really nice vibe, and most people who come in say, wow, this just feels really nice when they come in. So the atmosphere is part of the training as well. The floors are padded, we have weapons on the wall, and it's definitely tailored to martial arts.
What are some of the traditions that you're teaching there? Like what styles?
We teach Shaolin Kung Fu, but we're not super rooted in a tradition in terms of lineage. A lot of schools talk a lot about lineage, and it's very important to them. And for us, it's a little bit less important because tradition is simply what was done before. We don't necessarily add value to that. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff we can learn from tradition, but we also need it to work for us in present day. It needs to make sense. And that's paramount for us, is that it needs to make sense to us. Can we use it? Does it make sense in our bodies? Do we understand applications in a fighting sense? Not let's just do this because it's what we were taught. But we are always investigating our movements, and can we make this better? Like,
So it's a twist on the old traditional
yeah.
Shaolin.
And so you,
Yeah, inspired by, definitely pulling from there. But as we talked about before, Sifu Charles has 40 plus years of experience, so he draws in from other areas
36
as well.
styles.
Yeah, so
Right.
we're not
really
afraid
amazing.
to pull in from other styles, and so that's why we don't say real specifically. We say loosely Shaolin Kung Fu with sprinklings of other styles.
and you do Yang Tai Chi and Chen Tai Chi?
Yes,
Okay, so
mostly
you do
Yang
some
style.
Yang style Tai Chi also.
Yeah.
And you said you guys started in a park and then you moved into your own studio 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And so what age ranges, and is this a family affair, like entire family sign up with
Absolutely.
you? What's your youngest? What's your oldest?
Our youngest, we used to have a program, We Warriors, which was the 3, 4, and 5-year-old set, and we didn't have a strong attendance there, so we moved a couple of our We Warriors up to our Junior Warriors. So our Junior Warriors are now from 5 to 12, roughly, and when they get to the 12, 13, 14 age range, we'll kind of gauge, do we feel like they could hang with the adults? Then they might do a combination of the Junior Warriors and the adult program. And then the adults, Kung Fu, I'm not sure what the top age is, but the oldest Tai Chi student is probably my dad, who will be turning 80 this year.
Oh, great. How
Yeah.
many days a week do you have Tai Chi at your studio?
Tai Chi we have Wednesday evening, Saturday morning, and then Tuesday, Thursday at noon. And we also have for the early morning crowd, Thursday morning at 8.
Great. And do you do privates also?
We can, yeah. It's always just dependent on schedule.
Right. And you also do yin yoga.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Yin yoga is super chill, super relaxing. Not a
And
lot of
super
people
powerful.
know. Yeah, not a lot of people know about yin yoga. It's a somewhat newer form. It was combined with kind of a, trying to remember the name for it. There's somebody who worked, anyway, a combination of things that several people brought it to what it is today. And it's poses held for roughly 5 minutes, sometimes longer. And the one of the ideas is to kind of let go of this idea of striving to stretch. You're not trying to reach your toes. I call it meditating in different shapes. And when you're in a particular shape, you want enough sensation that your body is kind of working on something, but not so much that you feel like you're pushing or striving. And so you get a chance to sit with yourself and listen to what your body has to tell you. And that's one of the things I talk about in class is listening is a skill. We have to tell this to the Junior Warriors too. Listening is a skill.
That gets tough sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's one of the skills we all need to work on, listening. And actually adults need to work on listening too. There's a
Right.
lot of
Oh,
talking. And so
definitely.
yin yoga is a chance for a little quiet space for yourself, a chance to sit with yourself, meditate, but you have a little bit of something to meditate on. You have that little bit of sensation in the body, and you can explore, why do I feel this way? How do I feel about this? I'll talk about certain poses, give you the case of the I don't wannas. I don't really want to be in this shape. Explore that. Sit with that. Find out where that's coming from if you can. And so we
And
do
it's
these-
really good for healing after injuries.
Absolutely.
It's really known for that.
Well, I'm just trying to imagine what it is. I mean, for me, trying to hold something for 5 minutes, I think I'd be falling over because
They're all seated. They're
Oh,
all
okay.
very few
I'm
are
just
not
thinking
seated.
of like, you know, I don't know any of the movements, but where I have my ankle behind my neck, standing on one leg, going,
Nothing
going,
that
hey, it's
difficult.
not going to happen 5 minutes
No,
for me.
I don't think that
I'll
would be
on
very
the floor.
relaxing for you.
And it's so is it similar to like planking? You know how you do your planks and stuff, where you'll really hold it.
Very little muscular engagement.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
for example, one of my favorites is a butterfly position. So you have the soles of your feet together and your feet are pulled in toward the ground, but not super close, just kind of a diamond shape in your legs. And you do, we don't really say forward fold because we don't want to address it in the yang term where you're trying to get a stretch by really pulling, but we just flop. You just flop forward and that you'll still get sensation with the flop.
Wow.
And then the challenge
And
is to hang
actually,
out there.
the body doesn't resist as much when you do it very
Right.
slowly.
I
Yeah.
need to do more yoga. I got to
Yin
figure
yoga.
that one
She
out.
does that Tuesday nights.
We'll be right back after this break.
I do traditional Chinese medicine, and that includes 5 different branches: acupuncture, massage, yoga, tai chi, qigong, herbal medicine, and nutrition. It is amazing in helping the body heal itself that it releases the body's natural endorphins, serotonin, and seems to rebalance the hormones of the body.
Lower back pain was taken care of very quickly. 6 treatments and I was pain-free. And this was like 3 years ago and I've remained pain-free.
I've grown up in the Bay Area and I have had my own practice for over 15 years. When I was 12, I decided I want to be an acupuncturist, and by the time I was 25, I was licensed.
I have thyroid condition and stress, big time. When I walk out, I'm feeling like a whole different person. It's definitely a blessing to be able to come here.
I love helping women have babies, and the day that they actually get pregnant, the look in their eye is like, it's the best thing ever.
I've been struggling trying to get pregnant for the past 3 or 4 years. I came to Shasta. I would totally recommend her to anyone out there that is trying to get pregnant. She will do great for you.
Way of Wellness has to do with living a life that keeps us well.
Hi there, this is Alexander with It's All About the Show. You know, I've been with Money Concepts since 1994, and they have been the primary catalyst for my success as a financial advisor. If you're looking for a career change and you want to help people for a living, check out moneyconcepts.com/ALEE or call 946-8378 today. Hey, everybody. My name's Alex Andrew.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with Your Healthy Living, talking about Zen.
We're talking about martial arts.
Yes,
Ascension martial arts. And her and her husband teach multiple types. Yang Tai Chi, some Chen Tai Chi, Yin Yoga, and Shaolin Kung Fu.
I know. Charles knows like
36
different
styles.
art forms.
Right.
So is that kind of what you were talking about when you were saying how he draws from a lot of those
Absolutely.
others?
Yeah.
So are there other forms, or is this just kind of like almost his own type of an art form? Or do I come in and say, I want to do Shotokan, or I want to do, you know?
It's funny. Neither of us are really big on labels in general.
Oh, good. I like that. You fit into the Kindness in Your Soul network.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That's
you know,
awesome.
what people come in and what do you on the form is what do you hope to learn from us? What do you hope to gain in studying with us? And sometimes people don't know what to write, and sometimes they don't know what they were looking for until they've found some or part of it. So we were going to talk a little bit about the name of the school, and so this ties into that. Ascension Martial Arts. There are a lot of schools that have cool images of tigers and dragons and lots of rawr in the martial arts world, and we wanted to set ourselves apart a little bit with that, with Ascension Martial Arts. And our logo includes bamboo, and bamboo is super durable. You can use it for a lot of applications. It grows fast. It's flexible. It's all the things that we want to be as people and martial artists. And when people come in to train with us, the Ascension refers to how can we help you be the highest version of yourself? Mm-hmm. Not can we turn you into a tiger or a dragon or a lean, mean fighting machine, although, yeah, that's cool if we can do that too. But what is the highest version of yourself?
Right. Well, that's part of the whole process of being a lean, mean fighting machine,
right.
I think, because the best, I got to guess, I don't know, but the best martial artists are the ones that are so zen in their own self-awareness, as we talked about earlier, that you can't shake them. Where was I? I was listening to this thing, and somebody was talking about martial artists and saying how we were doing a show, and the guy was talking about, I think it was last week, and he was talking about certain people who get angry because it's so how. And it was the
with
guy
David
who teaches
Gamow.
with Dave. Yeah. And, you know, the martial artist doesn't automatically just go into this, oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to get you.
Right.
They just sit there and go, you know, is this really worth my time?
There's an adage that is confusing to a lot of people, which is you train to fight so you don't have to.
Yes.
And that can be tough to explain to people. And a lot of it for us is the more you learn to fight, the more you understand your body, and you can sort of balance your energies a little bit more. When you feel physically fit, you feel connected to your body,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
then you can be less reactive to something. If you needed to defend yourself, of course you could. assuming that you've been coming to class and practicing.
So in essence, it's like you create peace and empowerment through empower through self-empowerment.
Exactly.
Right. So
Yeah.
you know where you stand. You don't have to stand up for yourself, because if you do, you might go to jail. Right.
Right.
You build the self-awareness both of yourself, and the more you aware of yourself you are, the more you can be aware of people around you, and maybe things don't escalate to a certain point because you've read the energy of the situation and you know when to yield and back off.
Right. That makes sense. What does the yin yang represent for your logo, and how do you include it in your teachings?
The yin yang in our logo, people see this all the time on tattoos, for example, and it really is a powerful symbol of balance. There's a lot of talk about life balance, and yin yang is the most abstract and also the most complete version of life balance. And it's all about relationships. There is no absolute yin, there is no absolute yang. For example, we've talked about yin yoga, tai chi, and martial arts. And of the three, so if we look at martial arts and tai chi is yin to kung fu's yang. But if we look at yin yoga and tai chi, yin yoga is yin to tai chi's yang.
Yes.
So it's a comparison.
Right.
And so we're looking to find these balances, and we try to bring that into our teaching to show that, finding these ways to balance when to be aggressive, when to back off. Sometimes we think of yielding as a yin quality, and we can think of that as being weak sometimes, but it's not. It's knowing how to read the energy, how to use it in a way to your advantage. It's not always about meeting force against force. Sometimes it's about force comes to you. How do you redirect that in a way that doesn't also tax yourself?
Right.
And we need both those sides. I mean, it's interesting. You look at the logo, that it's been there forever, right? Is the yin yang? It's tears by itself, and when you put it together, it's that one solid full circle that completes life.
And within each, within the yin, there is also yang, and within the yang, there's also yin. That's what the dots are. You can't understand one without the other. We don't know what dark is if we don't also know what light is.
Right.
I've been pronouncing it wrong my whole life. I've always said yin yang. It's yin yang.
Well, so long as you don't say yin yang.
Yin, yes. I know it's the Y-I-N. That works great for me.
So, what you were talking earlier about how you teach different postures and how you can redirect the energy, because we're talking about the energy now. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so in this is one of the most fascinating things when we teach Tai Chi. A lot of times people come in, they've seen, it's the classic old people in the park doing Tai Chi, and
it's a lot harder than it looks.
You don't have to be an old person in the park to do Tai Chi. Our youngest student is 6. He's a lot of fun to watch. He knows no fear. So he just comes in and he trains. He says, "When do I test up?" I'm like, "We'll get you there." Anyway,
good for him.
Yeah, he's a hoot. But with Tai Chi, first we learn how to move in a way that is a little bit more considerate and slow, and a lot of what I call conscious footwork. You got to know where you're placing your feet and how you're placing your feet so you can build from the ground up. A lot of people, again, we tend to live in the upper half of the body, and so Tai Chi helps us to root in the lower half to learn a little bit more about the bigger muscles and the rooting, right? That's what's carrying the upper body.
Yeah.
And when we can get some of those basic things down, we do a lot of partner exercises where we address, okay, so if you want to push someone, you can shove them, and that will get you one result. But if you do uprooting and you give a little lift at the end of your push, there's very little that person can do about it. So it's learning how to direct energy in a way that is...
Hold on, I'm taking notes. Lift at the end of pushing.
Come to class. Come to class. It's something that you need to... It's actually something that you need to feel, and that's why the partner exercises are so helpful. Doing Tai Chi to the air will get you lots of results for sure, but you can understand the body mechanics more and redirecting energy more when you can practice with a partner and get physical feedback and feel that in your body, how it feels to redirect. So we have 13 actions that can include things like uprooting and advancing and retreating, ward off. And these are all different ways to understand energy flow. So if something's coming at you, what are the ways that you can redirect, including sinking, right? We think of moving things out of our way, but sometimes if force comes in, rather than resist it directly, you can take that force and sink it into the ground.
Right.
And that can be
That's
really
what's
effective.
so fascinating about martial arts is they're working with the idea of chi or energy.
Right. Where is
That
the
we're all
energy?
part of energy.
Right.
And we're connected.
And gravity is included in that. How to utilize gravity and energy and everything else to the benefit of the situation.
Right.
Always in the benefit of the situation.
Right.
Sometimes it's protection.
Yeah,
But
and
it's
there
never-
are some martial artists that become so advanced in emitting chi that they can push
Yeah, I've
without
seen
even touching.
that before.
Their
Is that
chi.
real?
Not totally.
Okay.
Beware the YouTube videos that show instructors pushing people around without touching them. A lot of times,
Or starting fires? The guy
Yeah,
that
there
starts fire with his
there's
hand?
definitely
I've seen
some
the fire
real
ones.
aspects, but it's really high
level.
training, high level stuff. And so there are a lot of people. What they do is they get their students enthralled with their abilities, and so the students
just
the
kinda convince
students
them,
want the instructor
mystify
to
'em.
look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of.
But
take
there
that-
are some masters who can.
There are some masters who
Very
can out there.
few.
We try to keep it really practical in our
Yeah.
studio because
Right.
we want people to be able to relate as much as possible. And
Right.
so if we can make it concrete. So when we're talking about chi, I like to, and some people, how do I know that I'm feeling the chi or moving the chi? And I say, just start with awareness. Just start with thinking about your toe. Guess what? Your chi is in your toe.
Right.
And just start with, because chi will follow awareness. And so
Right,
you have to start
right.
by thinking about it. And that's actually something we can train in the yin yoga, where you're not moving,
Yeah.
you're sitting, you have a chance to find quiet space and go within.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
And then you can start to feel like, where are you getting sensation? Okay, that's where there's some chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
I recommend the webpage, www.ascensionmartialarts.com, and you can contact me or Charles with our emails online.
That'd
And
be
you can also find us
great.
on Facebook as well.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay,
Wonderful.
well, man, that was
This
great.
is really,
I'm
really-
feeling zen. I'm loving this. I'm going to go out and have a great night.
Everybody should do Tai Chi and martial arts.
Thanks for joining us on
complete
Your
exercise.
Healthy Living. Tune in to the KIYS Video Web Radio Network and check it out. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.